All right, Orchestra 1. We are on page 27 still. We are moving on to line number 3, Academic Festival. It's by a very, very famous composer named Brahms. I would highly suggest listening to the entire piece. The entire piece is called Academic Festival Overture. Beautiful, with full orchestra, horns, flute, bassoon, everything. It's such a fun piece to play, and such a joy to listen to as well. So we'll be doing a little bit of that piece, mostly the theme or the melodic line of it, and kind of get a chance to explore it just a tiny bit. So for this exercise, we are going over what is called the upbeat. I'm going to read really quickly what your book says, or what your page says. The upbeat. Not all music begins on beat 1, or the first measure. Notes before the first full measure are called upbeats. Upbeats usually begin on an up bow. Okay? So unless it's noted otherwise, you will always start the upbeat on an up bow. Upbeat, up bow, up, up. Okay? The upbeat is always the end of a measure. It usually happens on beat 4, the and of beat 4, sometimes on beat 3 and 4. But the cool thing about upbeats is you can always see, so let's say for instance for this piece we're in 2/4, the upbeat is going to be on beat 2, and if you look at the very last measure of the line, you'll see that we only have one beat, and that's beat 1. So the upbeat is kind of like the end of the last measure of the piece, okay? So it brings us into our first full measure as it was stated in the definition. Remember, you'll start on an up bow. Now, you'll also see little less than, greater than signs above some of your notes. Those are called accents. And with accents, you're going to play the note that sign appears above, or that symbol appears above. You're going to play that note stronger. Okay? And to play it stronger, you're going to pull your bow faster or add a little bit more weight in your bow so that it sounds stronger. So this is... Okay, so let's say I did a D major scale. Okay, so I accented every 4 notes. So whenever you have your accents, make sure that those notes are played stronger. Okay, so I'm going to start number 3. We are in 2/4, so you have to make sure that you think about the fact that there's going to be 2 beats per measure. We also, we also have 8th notes in it. So line number 3, the rhythm will start 1, 2, 1. Ba, 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 ba. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1, 2. Okay? Remember, it starts on beat 2. So you'll count 1, 2, 1. I also did something at the end where I gradually got slower, and that's going to be called retardando, okay? And it appears at the end of a song usually, sometimes in the middle, and it is written R-I-T period, okay? So whenever you see that, you need to make sure that you gradually get slower. One thing I would highly suggest is practicing box number 1, where you have your repeat or your first ending. because that can be a little bit tricky. So I would practice box number 1 and then go to the open Ds that appear right after the repeat sign. Okay, so this is what you would do. Okay, and then you practice that again. Okay, and you have those two slurred eighth notes. Watch that E. This one's tricky because you have E repeated twice. Okay, so just make sure that you're playing the E twice. Okay, it can be a little bit tricky, but you guys can do it just with a little bit of practice. Okay, if you need to take it slower, do that. Okay, so if it's watch your accents. If you'll also notice, I did not play the upbeat. You only play the upbeat once, okay? You just need to make sure that you're focusing on where your repeat signs are, and you only repeat where, what is between those two repeat signs, okay? If you have any questions, please send me an email and I'll help you out.